Welcome back to my channel. Now in my last video, I told you guys that my next interior mod was going to save you money. And the reason I said that is because the paddle shifters I found for my car, I really wanted a dry carbon fiber look, and every website I looked on, they were at least $200 to $300. And I was just not gonna pay $250 to $300 for paddle shifters. So I did some digging and I finally found some dry carbon fiber paddle shifters to replace the stock ones on my M Sport steering wheel. And these are it. So if I zoom in, the quality of these are really nice and they feel really, really good. The whole reason I wanted dry carbon fiber paddle shifters is because I plan to do a lot more interior stuff, and a lot of the interior mods that I like have dry carbon on it. So these paddle shifters will fit perfectly in the interior scheme that I'm gonna go for. And the one thing, these were on eBay for $80. So literally almost 60 to 70% of what the other paddle shifters would cost, and the quality is exactly the same. So the reason I want to do this is I really like the look of the stock paddle shifters on the M Sport steering wheel, but I think it could look a lot better and a lot sportier. So that's why I want to go with these paddle shifters, because it's going to give the interior a lot sportier feel. And personally for me, I just like the dry carbon look a lot. And so for my taste, I think it's going to look really good. Let's get into the install. First, what we got to do, we got to make sure we have all the tools. So what you're going to need, you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. You're going to need a T20. You're going to need a 10 mil socket, and you're going to need a little pig tool. And that is all you need to do this install. So anytime you're messing with electronics, you always want to make sure the negative terminal of the battery is unplugged, just so you don't cause any damage to any of the electronic components. And if you're working with the airbag, the last thing you want is that thing blowing up in your face. So, I have to clean my trunk out first, get all my golf gear out, and then we'll unplug the negative terminal of the battery, and then we will get started on the install. Now, before you guys judge me on my trunk, I played golf a few times and it was super muddy out. And so my trunk is an absolute disaster. So at the end of this video, I will be definitely vacuuming my trunk, so do not judge me. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you want to disconnect the negative terminal in the battery, like I said. And so here's the 10 mil, and I'm using this rag here to put right here on the trunk so I don't accidentally close the trunk and then lock myself out of the car, and then that's a whole mess. So first thing you do to get to the battery, you want to pull this side out here, and then that exposes the battery, and then we just want to unbolt that so we can loosen it, and then we can pop it right off. So let's do that. All right, so the battery is disconnected. Now we're gonna go into the car and we're gonna use this long screwdriver, and this is going to help us release the springs that hold in the airbag. And then once the airbag pops out, we will unplug it, set it aside, and then that will give us access to the screws that are holding the paddles in place. And then we'll go through the paddle disassembly and assembly from there. So let's go to the car and get the airbag off. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this flathead screwdriver and we're gonna prop it under the steering wheel, pop the airbag out and unplug it, and then that will give us the room to take the stock paddles off, and then we can put the new ones on. So let's get the airbag off. Okay, so the airbag is out. Really what you're doing is, and I'll show you guys later, there's these holes right here, and you're just pressing this clip right here until it releases, and it's super easy. And all you do is just, to get the airbag cord out, you just press down. Oh, look at that. All you do is just press down on this little clip right here on the airbag, and it comes out. So we have the airbag out. Now what we're going to do is get our T20, and we're going to unbolt our paddle shifters. And you'll also need the pick tool, because you're gonna need to take this, it's a pin, and you have to push it out to release the paddle from the paddle shifting assembly. Now, the two T20 screws that we're going to want to unloosen is right here and right here. And again, you use a T20 Torx screw, and that's what's holding the paddle assembly together, or to the steering wheel, I should say. So let's unbolt that, and then I'll show you the actual paddle assembly, and then we'll disassemble that. Now we have this loose. Now, if you guys can see, there is this little, let's see, there's this little pin right here. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, right there. What we're gonna do is, we're gonna take our little pick tool, which is right here, and then we're just gonna press that out, and then the paddle assembly will come off, and then that's when we'll take our new paddle assembly parts, and then we'll put those together. I'll show you how to do that. So there's the little paddle pin that holds the paddle together, so don't lose that. So that comes off. The paddle is off, and you have to be careful. There's a little spring there, so you don't want that to fall off. But also, when you're taking the paddle off, when you're removing this, you want to make sure you pull it forward. Don't bend it back, or you'll snap these tabs right here. So all you do is, once the pin is out, you pull it forward, and then it will come right out. So now let's look at the new paddle assembly, and we'll put that together. I'm just gonna do this in the car so I don't have a bunch of parts flying around. But when you get the new paddle shifter, this is right here. This is the back plate. This is the part that eventually will go right on there, and it will snap together, and that spring is what kind of clicks back the paddle right there. But this part is going to slide in the paddle right there. So it's gonna slide in exactly like that. You're gonna take this backing plate, and then you're gonna put the paddle assembly right in there, and it's gonna snap together. And then you're gonna take this screw, and then you're gonna thread that together, and then it'll become one assembly. And then now what we're going to do, we're going to slide this back piece into there where the spring is, and then we're gonna use that pin again to hold the other side down, if that makes sense. The pin is gonna slide, if it focuses, the pin is gonna slide down this bracket. So that's what holds it in place. So let me put these paddle assemblies together, then we'll get them installed. And look how good the back looks. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a super clean fit and it looks really, really good. Now what we're gonna do, we're going to put this assembly back together, and like I said, we're gonna use that pin, and then that will hold this together. I'm going to bolt the paddle shifter on the right side in now, and then once that's bolted up, I'll show you guys how it works and how it functions. Okay, it is all bolted up, and look at that. And it looks really good, and it feels like stock. It almost feels better. That feels really, really good. Guys, I don't know about you, but I am super happy with the way that functions and how it looks. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna repeat this process on the left side, and then I will, once I get everything buttoned up, I'll show you the final look and see what you guys think. All right, boys, look at that. That looks so good. Guys, I am loving this. This looks so good, and it matches my interior. You guys can see my interior is all black. That looks so good. I am super happy with how this came out. And honestly, guys, the price I paid for these paddle shifters, they look 10 times the quality of what I paid. And I'll leave the link down in the description below. I got these off eBay. They were $80, free shipping, and they look really good, and they feel really, really good. I mean, this has a factory feel. That feels awesome. I highly recommend getting these for your car. And I will say the install's not that hard. It is a little finicky because you have to make sure springs don't fall out. You have to make sure you don't lose the pins, and there's a bunch of little screws. So it's not that difficult, but you do need to give yourself some time to do this so you're not rushing, because things can come apart and you just don't want to have to rush this install. So make sure you give yourself a bunch of time when you're doing this install. But you know, it was super easy. You just have to be careful and make sure that you have all the right tools and you don't lose those plastic pins, because that could be a nightmare if you lose those. But again, that looks amazing. Now that we're done with the install, let's plug the battery back in. I'm gonna warm up my car, but then I am going to vacuum my trunk because it is absolutely disgusting. I'll tell you what, guys, nothing is better than getting a new mod on your car and then cleaning it, and then having a new mod in a clean car. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love that. And again, those dry carbon fiber paddle shifters look so much better, specifically for my interior. That just looks so good. So I'm really, really happy with that install. It looks so good. It's exactly what I wanted. And again, those weren't $250 or $300 paddle shifters. Those were $80 on eBay. I'll put the link down in the description below. The shipping took, I think, a week, so it wasn't bad. Free shipping, so it's literally $80 for those. So that is gonna save you guys a bunch of money if you wanna do that to your M Sport steering wheel. So I really appreciate all the comments that I have been getting from you guys. That is awesome, and I love answering you guys. So any questions you have about this install, let me know. And please like, subscribe to my channel. And in the next video, one of you guys mentioned what I should do for my next mod, and I listened to you, and that's what I'm going to do. So stay tuned for that next mod video. And again, guys, thank you so much. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.